second class on communication skill, right? I am Shashi Kumar, basically a scientist in Department of Space. My subject is mathematics. For last 18 years, dealing on image processing, computers, computer vision, etc. I'm with Ramakrishna for last few years, talking on different topics like communication skill, personality development, self-improvement. Any one of you heard me earlier on any of the topics? None of you. Any one of you heard me on any occasions, on any classes in Ramakrishna? All of you are attending first time the classes in Ramakrishna? How many of you are engineers or BTech students? Generally quite a few, that's why I asked that question. Yesterday there was a class on communication skill. What was the topic covered? Non-verbal. So we started with the non-verbal communication. What do you want me to do? Therefore, verbal communication. Generally, I take class at the end of the communication skill classes. And there will be some people who cover on language, importance of language, and somebody on verbal, non-verbal, and etc. etc. Generally, on communication, people get confused with conversation. You know the difference between communication and conversation? Communication and conversation differences? Am I talking in English? Can you follow English? Please respond when I ask you questions, at least some nodding heads. Okay? That is the best communication practice. Assume same question was asked to you individually when we are sitting together, not in a group like this. Will you keep quiet? You will answer. That is the difference between communication and the conversation. You will respond immediately in conversation. Okay? Normally people understand communication means you don't respond. That's why people talk about, when they talk about communication, they talk about public speaking, talk about mail, email, letters. Okay? And for me, reading is also a communication. Because the book communicates to you and you don't respond. That's why people don't follow it. Okay? Therefore, what I am trying to say is, you have problems in communication. You will see some issues in communication. Communication is not very perfect. Okay? Problems in communication, defects in communication, etc., etc. you will learn. But just because in conversation you have no problems, but in communication you have all these problems. But both mean same, except that in conversation you don't have to prepare. When you talk to your friend, will you prepare in advance? No. And when you talk something, he will oppose it, he will put his comments, or you will put his comments when somebody is talking to you. And you will keep shifting topics from one to another. But in communication, you are expected to be very systematic. In the class, I cannot go on shifting topics, right? No? Sometime on communication I will take, sometime we will talk about Hyderabad problems. Will it happen? It's not, because this is a 1 hour talk in which I am supposed to communicate to you on communication skill alone, nothing else. When you write an article, you have to be very systematic. You have to write down everything very clearly, and you cannot go on to some other topic and come back to this topic again. But in conversation, you can shift topic. You can see the face of your neighbor whom you are conversing with, and see if he is not interested in the topic, change the topic. Right? So basic difference between conversation and communication is, communication is supposed to be systematic, supposed to be having a forum. At the end of the class, you must be able to give a title for this class. You must have an abstract for this. You must have a conclusion for this. The class should have an objective. This is what I want. At the end of the class, you must learn this. But in a conversation, it can be rubbish. Nothing is required. At the end of the conversation, you feel okay, happy, that's enough. But end up in a communication, it's not. You should have some essence with you. That's what generally people consider when you talk about communication and you talk about conversation. That's why people don't conduct classes on conversation skills. Right? But both for communication and conversation, one commonality is most of the things are same, like verbal, non-verbal and all that. All the parameters are same. Only thing, conversation is not structured, communication is structured. You need verbal communication, both in conversation and communication. You use words, you should have good language. And you should have also good actions so that the other person's attention is taken care of. But in conversation, you build up subject. But in communication, you have to prepare in advance and then do it. That's what generally people think about these two. There is a difference. But communication skills are taught, conversation skills are not to be taught, because every one of us is good in that. But assume you can take the advantage of conversation in your communication. That means you can become so casual. You don't worry to whom you are talking. Then what will happen? Your communication skill will improve. Generally in communication, people lose confidence. If the same fundamental rules in conversation, if you can adapt in communication, you will feel a lot of guts. As if we are all friends. That's why I started the class with Namaskar. All of you also said Namaskar, but none of you know the meaning of Namaskar. So what? Right now? Na means no, ma means me. No, me. I am not there. You also said you are not there. So all are not there. What does it mean? No difference between me and you. We are like friends. So let us talk. Right? On equal platform. Then you will be able to communicate well. Assume you go for an interview. Communication skill is taught for attending interviews generally. What will happen? When you go in front of them, words will not come. That's because you think that they are at the highest level. Right? When you want to talk to your friends and 10 people together, no problem. You will be able to do that. But if 10 professors are sitting in front of you, you cannot do that easily. You want to ask some information to your friend, it is quite possible. But you want to get into an office and ask somebody will pull you from back. No, don't go. That's because you are not at ease. You are not comfortable. Why does it happen? If you know why does it happen, then you know how to get out of it. If you don't know how does it happen, you will not be able to get out of it. Right now? So conversation also have got some, that's also conversation only. Asking something to your office, some information is a conversation. But people generally take it as communication. In an interview, you don't say that you are conversing. You say it's communication. Right? But there also build-up is possible. So for communication, if you want to be good, you should have good confidence. You should know how to manage your mind. You should not get worried. You should have sufficient ideas which comes to you. You have ideas. What will happen? After writing examination, oh, this I knew, but I could not write. I wanted to tell this, but that did not come that time. During the interview, the words will not come. But after the interview, when you come out, you know, okay, I could have told like this. Or you will prepare well and this is what I have to tell. But in front, it does not happen. Or you prepare for a lecture and you know what to tell. All not perfectly well. But when you come to the stage, finished. Why does it happen? I'll ask you one simple question. Most of you hold something in your hand, right now? No, you don't have to keep it. What is that? Pen. How long you are using pen? Childhood, 5 years less probably, right now? 25 minus 5, 20 minus 5, 15 years. So almost every day, 200 days in a year, approximately, if not 365 days, right? How many of you can talk about the pen for 1 hour? Raise your hands if you can. None of you. Very good. Half an hour, I will bargain now. Half an hour? No. 10 minutes? Raise your hands, not half 10 minutes, full 10 minutes. Okay? So he is ready to talk on pen for 10 minutes. Nice. At least 3-4 people. Great. Out of 75 or 80 people, 3 people can talk. You can see the percentage of communication skill people have, right now? So again I will bargain. 2 minutes. Those who can talk about 10 minutes also can talk about 2 minutes also. No, only I can talk about 10 minutes but not 2 minutes. No? That's the difference between, okay fine, at least 20-30 people. So some people say I can only talk 10 minutes, 2 minutes I cannot talk. 1 minute about the pen. You got? Doubtful or not? Then come. You said 1 minute you can talk about the pen, but when you said come, not possible. You can talk about pen for 1 minute? No. You cannot. Any language is no problem. Either English or Manglish or Tenglish. I talk in Manglish, Malayalam mixed English. You talk in Tenglish, Telugu mixed English. God knows what is real English. No? Americans say that this is not the English. British people say that is the English. Anyway, this is not our mother tongue. It is other tongue, no? So anything is fine. Who is confident of talking about the pen for 1 minute on the stage now? Only 1 minute. Great, come. Somebody is from the back. Did you do this earlier sometime? First time you are talking about the pen? Yes. Did not talk to your friends on pen? No. Never? Never. Fine, good.
Hi, good morning everybody. Yes, let us have a topic about the pen. Pen is one thing which can help us to write what we have in our minds. The pen is which we are using from our childhood, and the different companies are producing pens and different brands, Reynolds, today, and we can use. It helps us. We cannot remember all the things in our mind. It helps us to keep our memories in diary. And whenever we have a new thought, a new idea, we can write on the pen. We can write with a pen, and there are so many people producing the pens, manufacturers giving employment to so many people, and shopkeepers who lead their families.
Clap, give a good clap. Good. Yeah, just finished 10 minutes somehow. Anyone wanted to try? Nobody want to try? You want to try? Come. Have you seen pen sellers in the bus? Yes. Yeah, good. Hi, good morning. Namaste. I have a pen in my hand. This is the first time talking on a platform. So I think I'm great. Yeah. So I want to become a writer. So the pen is very important for me. So I can't think of the world without pen. Because without pen, nobody can live in this world, as per my knowledge. So my legs are shivering. No problem. But still I can speak. So, if the teacher is telling something, so basically I want to keep everything in Maksat, not the Pustak. Even then, some points I can't keep all in mind. So, it will help me a lot. Thank you very much. Just 30 seconds. Half minute. Now you know why did I call two people. Now he can talk 10 minutes. Come. But don't talk 10 minutes, you talk 1 minute.
Hi everyone, I am Ramakrishna. Now I am speaking about pen. First of all, pen is powerful than a knife. Because many people can write anything in the paper with pen, but no one can kill with a knife. So in this case, many journalists and everyone who are opposing the government so that they can write with a pen. So pens are different types. There are many companies are banning the pen. In that also many different costs are there in pens. So mainly there are people with different localities will use these kind of pens. And today our government is facing a problem with a chit fund company. That's also with the pen that has written the paper and that's giving the pen role in this way. So pen is powerful, I think so.
What are your parents do? Business. What is your parent do? Last, who spoke in the first? What about you? Agriculture. Fine. You all draw one. Generally people draw sun in the childhood. How do you draw? You draw a circle and you draw a lot of arrows. So you just draw that in your book. In the center of the book, one nice page, spoil it. Take a nice page. In the center of the page, you draw a sun. Done? Inside the circle, write pen. Right? And each line, you start writing different aspects of pen. When somebody spoke here, he told that journalist uses. That means pen can be used as a weapon against government, right now? So one of the aspect of pen is weapon. So one line you write weapon. And somebody talked about different brand of pen. So one line you write brand. And he also spoke about production of pen, right now? So you can write about production. He spoke about pen as a business that feeds a lot of people. So pen is a business. Now can you find out what are all things you can write around that? Why did I say sun? The number of rays can be infinite. So you start writing in each line. What are the things you can write? You can talk about the history of pen. It started with what? Iron rod, sharpened iron rod which can be used to write on the leaf. Then it came to narrow tip, now fiber tip. And then the smallest. So from ink to gel to different, correct no? So technology can be one. One arrow can be technology. One arrow can be history. And then what else? Models of pen, different models. Pen can be a hobby. You can start collecting pens. Whoever you see some nice pens, pick it up. Snatch it and then keep it to home. So nice collection of pens. Types of pen. Color of pen. Now you see how ideas comes. Tell me, what else? You can write, the pen can be on different medium. On normal paper, the same pen you don't use it to write on to transparency. Okay? So types of pens, methods, the thickness of pen, you have got wider. When you write onto the board, you use wider one. When you write on smaller We have got fine tips also, 0.5, 0.3 micrometer, right now? So thickness, ink, color, what else? What else? Digital pen. Yeah, you are in digital world. Migrated to digital world. Some people taken birth in digital world. Uses of pen. Uses of pen. Then what? Markers, that's what different types. Markers, you can use it as marker. Highlighters. Pen as a weapon, pen for creativity. He said pen for putting it memories in on the paper, right now? For paintings also you can use pen. Art forms, creative art forms. Education purpose. You cannot think of a world without pen, somebody said, right now? Finished? Okay. Given any topic, now what is the first thing what you can do? Take a nice page, draw a circle, and draw sun first. Okay? On any topic, if you want to prepare either a talk or an article, the first thing is draw a sun. Do you remember this now? And think on different aspects. Don't think on one aspect. What happens? Generally, when topic is given, you will start thinking about its uses or its defects. You can also write defects. Pen can be used for different bad uses also, right? No, not necessarily for good purposes. You can use it for bad purposes. Slogans can be written, right? So think about all the good and bad aspect. Think about the business aspect. Think about economic aspect. Think about everything around that. Then start building. Now how many of you can talk about pen? I'm not trying to call you here, fine? Don't worry. How many of you can have conversation with your friend, argue on pen? That is also communication, right? How many of you can do it for 10 minutes? Reduced, earlier it was more. Why half? Don't see around whether somebody else is doing it or not. Raise your hands if you can. Don't worry, let's have some exercise, no? Okay, fine. At least a few more hands. 2 minutes? Many more. Fine. So you know, how do you develop conversation skills, communication skills? For anything you need idea, and for everything you need divergent thinking. Don't get into one small aspect and then try to do. You will not be able to do it for long. So what is to be done? Divergent thinking. Think on every aspect. Then you will get a lot of ideas. Then you will be able to communicate. Now somebody said he is coming first time on the platform. Now second time when he comes, will your leg shiver? Hopefully no, right? No? Right? So you should have confidence. And what will happen? Assume that you are not performing well. What will happen? Assume that I am not performing well. What will happen? Nothing will happen because your chappals are removed. Right? No? You don't have to worry because I am not going to see you tomorrow. You don't have to worry. I am not going to see you tomorrow. So no problem for me. You are not, how do you rate me? I don't care. Because I am not going to see you tomorrow. But assume you are my closest friend. Do I have to worry? No. So both way I don't have to worry. Either I know you or I don't know you, we don't have to worry. Right? No? You understood what I am trying to say. So both way you don't have to worry. You are sitting in an interview board. If you get selected, fine, you have to meet him tomorrow. If you don't have to meet him tomorrow, you can tell anything, no? Is it not? And it's a rare chance to get some few experts sitting in front of you. They are all listening to you. Right? Maximum what can happen? Either you get a job or get a seat, or you don't get, right now. If you don't get, no problem, there are many other places available for you. If you don't get a job, what is the problem? There are many other jobs available for you. Once you get a job, it is difficult. You cannot get other jobs. When you get inside a bus, you will lose so many buses. But if you miss a bus, you get so many buses. You understood? So what is to be seen in life? Nothing. Don't worry. You don't have to worry. If you start worrying, you will not be able to get words. You will know everything, but nothing will come on. You will be able to talk to your friend on pen for half an hour, no problem. You will be able to argue, right? On a business, on a given topic, any topic in the world, you will be able to argue, you will be able to converse. But when it's communication, you are not systematic. And in the half, you can go for a tea and come back. But in communication, you cannot do that. Right? You should go systematically and finish it with the start and the end. At the end, you must be able to give a title. Therefore, you must be having good language. Okay? So language is important. Good vocabulary is important. Good phonetics is important. Good structure is important. Good grammar is important. Lot of words are required. From childhood to 6th age, normally a child who interacts with society well will have 6,000 words in the dictionary, in the head. When you live up to 16 to 18 years, you will have another 6,000. Another 12 years, you will collect 6,000. So by now, all of you must have nearly 12,000 words in your dictionary. If you live another 60 years in this world, you will have only 6,000 more. So half of the dictionary is there already. Now assume you can increase these words from 18,000 to 24,000 to 30,000, you are wonderful. A small difference will make a lot of difference in your vocabulary. So how do you develop that? The reading habits are essential. Try to read a lot. Don't try to memorize. Try to read a lot. Try to use it, paraphrase it. Whatever you read, you must be able to paraphrase it. You must be able to reuse it in your daily language. And while reading, reading should become heartful business. What is heartful business? Get into your heart, by heart. Not in the normal terminology, people say by heart as a bad habit. By heart is a good habit. When you read, let it get into your heart. Don't get into your brain. Generally people by brain. They don't take it into heart. Take things into heart so that you will enjoy reading. The cinema is able to communicate to you well. But the class, I am not able to communicate to you well. In the class, the teachers are not able to communicate well. How do you know? That is why in the class teachers say, please listen, no, because you are not listening. People only hear, but they don't listen. You know the difference? People don't ask, do you hear me? Yeah, I will hear, but I will not listen to you. There is a difference between hearing and listening. Communication ends only when you listen. Hearing does not make sense. Do you listen to the sound of the fan? We don't ask like that, no? Do you hear the sound? Because you just hear, you don't interpret it, you don't analyze it, you don't judge it, you don't compare it. When you listen to talk, what you will do? You start comparing. Did I hear such lectures earlier? You will start thinking internally. His English is not good. You start thinking internally. What does it mean? What is that he is trying to say? You will start asking questions. Somebody will do what? Let him tell whatever he wants and finish it. In a cinema, what happens when you sit for 2.5 hours? Is there anybody in the world who says, I am not able to concentrate in movie, then goes out of the movie theater, throwing the ticket out? No, full concentration, right now? Every lip movement, why lip movement? Every body part movement is by heart. Right now? But when you read a book for 2.5 hours, do you read 2.5 hours? First 5 minutes also you are not able to concentrate. Open the book, somebody closes the book and asks you which chapter you are reading. Don't even remember that, no. Why? Because cinema is thrilling, reading is not thrilling. The class is not thrilling. It is not Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh Khan who is taking the class. Right, no? Why does it happen? In the cinema theater, all the time you are eager to know what is next. And you keep imagining in the next scene this is what is going to happen. And you realize it is not happening. And you feel sad. If it happens, you will feel happy. Right, no? But in reading, do you think what is going to be in the next page? So thrilling, something is going to come in the next page. Nice chemistry, nice physics, nice. No. Do you feel at the end of the reading book, either feel sad or happy and say thrilling? Do you talk to your friend that I read this, so interesting, no? The theorem is so interesting. No. Because it does not go into your heart. And you have no expectations also. Let there be a cricket match and the next day you wanted to see the paper, what you will do? It's thrilling because you have some expectations, right? So when you have expectations, you will open up your heart and anything which gets into will reside there. So if you want to communicate well, what is required? You must open up your heart and then read inside the heart. Therefore, what is to be done? When you read a book, open the book, read the title, close the book. Don't read it. Okay? Happy? Maybe first time somebody is asking you, don't read book. Just read the title, close the book, and then take a paper and pen, start writing what can be there inside that. You can guess, no? Because you must have heard about it. You must know what is happening around that. Bhagavad Gita you are reading. Take the first page, okay, this is Bhagavad Gita textbook. Close it, write at least one paragraph about the Bhagavad Gita. This is what Bhagavad Gita means. Then open it, then you will see this is not Bhagavad Gita. It will become thrilling. Read one sloka, don't read the commentary. Close it, write what does it mean. Some thing you can write. Nobody is going to ask you. Don't show it to anybody, right? Then read the meaning, then you will realize how bad you are. Realizing that itself is important. If you do it, at the end of the sloka 700, you will know that how good you became afterwards. Understood what you want to do? So do a self-analysis and then try to do this. When I am talking to you, what happens inside? So many words will come, so many grammar will come. If my mother tongue is coming, that will be cut, only filtered English will come. Right? So many thought process will come. What should I talk? That comes from somewhere. It's like a lot of network with a lot of communication inside. And I will see your faces and see how you are accepting. And I am seeing you are dull. My lecture is boring, I am going to know that. Then what I will do? I will change this topic, change the style of talking. So what's happening? Actual communication is a little bit, but for each word, how much communication happens inside? And when he was talking from here, not only pen, he was not just thinking about the pen, he is seeing your faces. And then he gets worried, therefore legs start shivering. So what happens? The brain will give words about the pen, but mind will tell, no, be careful. Right? Then the mind also gives information to the legs, start shivering. And the brain will say, you don't have to worry, nothing is going to happen. Now what happens? You have lot of communications. Your eye will say, don't see him. He is trying to notice you. See this place, that's wonderful. See that place, be very careful. See, your eye is getting control. Then when he was standing here, I just touched him, don't worry. The touch shows, don't worry. Then what happens? All the skins, for each 1 inch by 1 inch on your body, there are 300 eyes. 1 inch by 3,000 eyes. 30,000 eyes. Why do you say 300, 3,000, 30,000? Not all the eyes are open sometimes. Actually there are 30,000 eyes, but they need not be open. So when I touch, what happens? All the skin starts functioning and it says that, oh, he is touching, So what happens? You have got indriyas. All the indriyas will start giving informations to your mind. And brain will give knowledge. Both are processed together and will decide whether to shiver leg or to shiver the tongue. So all the indriyas will start communicating to mind and brain also will start communicating to mind. And now sitting there back, oh, I should have told something else. I should have told this point also. Do you think that? I should have performed better. What happened? Your mind is what is controlling your tongue, and the brain will tell, no, you have not done the job what I said. I gave this word, but you did not tell that word. You have swallowed it. Because your indriyas are being controlled by the mind, and the brain gives the informations but need not get produced. And then after sitting back, your Atma will tell, you should not have told this, you should have told this. All the judgment will come after that. This happens to us. Most of us will get angry and then scold somebody. While scolding, we will say 100 times I told you this. The other person says, only once you told me. No, why can't you tell the another 99 also? Because when you get angry, mathematics will go from your brain. You don't know even counting. Right, no? And what will happen? Your eyebrow will go up, cheeks will start shivering, nose will become reddish, nice kathakali will come on the face. Why does it happen? Lot of chemical reactions will happen inside, and the mind will say, nice time to become reddish nose, so that the other person knows that you are getting angry. Either they will run away or they will slash you. So communication, verbal or non-verbal. If it is non-verbal, nose getting reddish is non-verbal. Right? Verbal communication is all the scolding what you give. Assume you are a person who cannot have that much chemical reactions inside. When you get angry, what will happen? Adrenaline will start form. Your stomach will start burning inside. Will it not? And then the scolding will come. The first reaction comes, and then the tongue will start working. Then the reaction will come opposite. That's a different thing. Why does it happen? Because internally there are a lot of activities happening which controls your tongue. When you get angry, the words what you use, and when you don't get angry, the words what you use will be entirely different, right? Why does it happen? Because it's not in your control. So communication become uncontrollable, language become worse. Will you be able to scold with nice languages? Soft, smooth, lovable languages scolding? Not possible, right? No? It is all bad words. Why does it happen? Because it's not in your control. You lose control. So communication can create problems when you are not controlling your communication. You can do good communication with the controlled communication, so systematically written down and all that. Now assume you take care of communication class well and then you learn the communication skill perfectly. Now tomorrow onwards, when you wanted to scold somebody, what you will do? Draw a sun. Then what are all the aspects I have to scold? By the time you finish drawing, you will not be able to scold. You get it? Assume that somebody is coming to scold you. You give one glass of water. Please finish this and then scold. Still he wanted to scold, give another one more glass. If not enough, one bucket of water. Ask him to drink totally and then you scold him. Will it be possible? No. When your reactions are too much, you must do suppress it. Otherwise communications becomes bad communication. So how do you purify communication? Drinking water. Okay? Take in deep breaths. When somebody is calling, please hold, take a deep breath. I will tell you what to do next. Everything will go out. Because when you have got sufficient oxygen and the toxins inside can be diluted with water, your communications becomes perfect. Right? I'm not joking. It's really, that is how you will make it better. Your thought process has to be clean. When you drive, you start thinking. The road is good, the road is bad, the building is good, the color is good, the building would have painted blue, why it is painted red. Don't you think all this? Somebody's dress is good, they are not dressed up well. All that will start thinking inside. Why unnecessarily? As soon as I came, you have taken my picture. Your eyes are open, automatically the picture is inside. I am useless to you, but still the picture goes inside. Nice communication. The eye takes picture, goes and then puts into brain. Now what will happen? Tomorrow by mistake you see me on the road, again one more picture will take and see old picture. The shirt is different, some more grey hair. He looks dull, he was pleasant that day. See how much comparison happens? Nice image processing will happen. And you will start comparing old picture and the new picture. So much of communication happens inside without your knowledge. Without your knowledge, your body, your mind, your brain, your atma and indriyas will start communicating. And then what comes out is a resultant of that. So if you want to purify, external methods are there, internal methods are there. External methods can be practiced easily, but internal methods cannot be practiced internally. That easily. External methods practice is what I said, DrTPS. You want to scold somebody, take a paper, write down. First stupid, second useless. This is what you say generally when you get angry, right? No? Write and then give. You read 100 times. If you want to add some more, take it back, add. If you want to subtract, remove it and then give it. Okay? Tell your parents at home. When they are scolding you, write, no, I have written down. Anything new you wanted to tell me, I will add that. Or you add it and give it to you. Writing becomes perfect communication. In non-verbal, generally you will have loose talk. But when you write it down, it becomes very clear, crisp. So communication is better when you write it down once. Assume you want to write examination, what you will do generally? You will read, oh this question, this answer is there, I know, it is there in the textbook. Oh, this is known to me. You go to the next page. But unless you rewrite yourself, you will not be able to reproduce it. So communications becomes yours only when it goes through your eyes, get into brain, comes back to your hand, and then the mind will tell you this is how you should write. Unless you practice it, that does not get inside your mind and body. Once it gets inside your mind and body, that becomes yours. Otherwise it becomes only somebody's. So good communication is a process where you get inside and your heart should control your indriyas, and that communication should happen. That's why when you read loud, what will happen? Your other indriya also will listen. Eye will see, ear will hear, and you are internally processing it once. So reading loud will make you better communicators. Okay? Think loud. Your thought process has to be good. Vak has to be good. How vak can be good? Word can be good. Vak mana. It comes from mind. Therefore mind has to be good. All the words comes from mind, right now? So good words to come, you should have a good mind. Manas has to be good. How do you make mind good? nice surf, vim powder and clean your mind. No? Make it very good, clean. How do you get words inside your mind? Where did you learn scolding? Because you got enough. And all the words what you got, you know how to reproduce it, right? No? Whatever we hear is what is there in your mind. Whatever we see is what is there in our mind. Whatever we touch is what is there in your mind. Whatever we taste is in your mind. Non-verbal communication. Nice mirchi bhaji is getting cooked there. Yeah, that is mirchi bhaji. You know this. How do you know? It's a good communication, non-verbal communication. Then what will happen? Automatically the tongue will start watering. Another indriya will start functioning. Because this connects to the brain. Brain will identify that and then tell the manas. The manas will tell start watering. And then your left automatically will start moving there and you will pick it up. Right now? So a lot of communications will happen inside. How do you control this? Don't see. What is to be seen only should be seen, but your eye will go wherever you are not supposed to see. You will hear what you are not supposed to hear. Vak, mana, chakshu, srotra, ghana, jihvaredo, buddhyagriti, sankalpame shuddhyanta. Your sankalpam, thought process have to be clean. A clean thought process will give you a good mind, therefore good words will come out of that. And if your words are not good, people will assess you from the words what you speak. As you are seeing, people cannot assess you. By seeing, you cannot recognize a person. You talk to him for some time, you know what sort of a person he is. Right now? That's why in Amaravani there are few slokas which says Keyuranina Bhushayanti Purusham Harana Chandrojjalam Nasnanam Nakusumam Navilepanam etc. etc. It says Vak Bhushanam Bhushanam. Don't see people by the dress which they wear. Don't see people by the vibhuti they have put. Somebody will put nice vibhuti and all that. The words which comes, you know, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It's not Shanti at all. The word Shanti should be there inside, then only nice Shanti will come. The Shanti itself is pronounced in non-Shanti way. Mantram will become Amantram. So the words which comes out will determine what sort of a person he is. Not whether you have taken bath, not whether you have put nice ornaments or not, that doesn't matter. The words are the ornaments for people. So if you don't have good purified words with you, purified communication, you will become bad. So how do you practice this? Internal communication has to be good. Whenever there is a bad thought process comes, cut. Don't get into that part. Divert your attention. Keep always, and you cannot fill this room. If there are some bad smells coming, what you will do? You will start picking it up and then throwing it out. Assume you cannot pick it up, what you will do? You will spray, right? So give a nice thought process all the time and keep busy with the nice thoughts so that your bad thoughts will go out. And the words which you use, assume that I start talking to you in this style because I am here. Assume I stay abroad in Western country for some time. Assume I am in Austria or Netherlands or somewhere. The English will be very, very slow. Because they don't understand nice English, we will start slowing down our English. You go to some village and ask somebody the path, they will say, go, go. That means this is only short path, this is longer path, right? So your terminologies, your words, verbs, the language, the phonetics, the way you speak will vary from place to place because the people around you are such. So your communication skill depends on the people with whom you are interacting. Assume you want to have a good communication skill, you should have good company around you. Practice it well. Internal communication is important, and the next important is you should have good people where you can communicate well. Assume you want to improve your English, only you are living in a place where nobody understands English. What you will do? Either you will become mad or you will forget your English. Right? No? You have no way. Therefore, if you want to improve your language, you should have people who will talk in the same language. Not the external verbal language alone. Your thought process will become good only when you mingle with the people who are good around you. Otherwise you will learn skills but you will never practice it. Therefore, you have to acquire knowledge. You have to clean your mind, acquire knowledge to the brain, read a lot, understand a lot, practice it, and then keep your mind very clean, calm. Do when it is required, don't do when it is not required. Filter it well, and then try to mingle with the people who are good so that you will be able to communicate. This is the practice, and always practice it. Abhyasena tu kaundeya. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says these are all what you should do. Then Arjuna says not that easy, bhai. Then he says don't worry, practice it, then you will be able to do that. So what is required? You should practice it. Now onwards, assume that you wanted to improve your communication skill. Read newspaper. Next day go back to your college. Try to talk about what you read in the newspaper. And engineering college students must be traveling nearly 1 hour forward and 1 hour backward, 2 hours per day. What do you do in the bus? Talk about nice telephone models, see around the people, and then start commenting them. And 3 hours you will waste. How many days? 200 working days. That means 6,000 hours in a year. And then how many years like this? 3 years. You will lose some 6,000 hours in your life. Instead of that, read at home. You pick up your friend. Start discussing the subject what you learned in the earlier day. Argue on that. Counter argue on that. Your life will become smoother and you will enjoy staying together. I was standing in a railway station for ticket booking, and 2 engineering college students were discussing on aerofoil sectioning. My PhD is in fluid mechanics. Aerofoil sectioning was the discussion which was talking about. All the equations they are discussing. I was so thrilled to see somebody is discussing this. And 3 hours waiting in the queue was just a happy moment. Otherwise what will happen? You will stand there and think, oh, big queue, what is to be done? How many times you will repeat the same thing? Will the queue reduce? No. Lalu Prasad Yadav is a stupid railway minister. He can open up railway queues everywhere, counters everywhere, so that this queue will not be there. Will Lalu Prasad Yadav listen to that? No. Who is going to get benefited? Nobody. Who is going to get affected? So bad communication internally, even discussing that item to somebody else will not make a sense and you will become worse. Your blood pressure will raise and one fine morning you will have a heart attack. So all the bad thought process which internally builds up will create you troubles. Nothing is going to help you. Therefore, essentially in life what is required is you must start thinking good, talking good, communicating good, interacting well with the people, and then subside your anger, subside your feelings, but while reading add feelings. You understood? So the difference is try to clean your communication. Internal communication, external communication, once you clean it up, your verbal and non-verbal communication will become better. Practice it well with the people around you, with the good, calm, soft words. Dealing with the good people around, the good satsang is very, very essential for practicing well. Okay? This is the message which I have, and you were listening to me for last 1 hour. Thank you for not looking into your watch. Except one person, nobody is in the watch. And that's the communication which I get, that the lecture is not boring. Because if lecture is boring, we will start looking into your watch. Then that gives me a communication that lecture is boring, stop it. Okay? I have to reach office by 9, maybe I will be late by 10 to 15 minutes, that happens. If you have got some few questions, 1 or 2 questions, I can answer that. Very fast, sharp questions.